Hi everybody, Nana Hannah here. Hear something sizzling in my kitchen. What do you think it is in this big pot that I've got? Oh yes, why it's Italian sweet sausage. This is the second recipe in my series of 3 recipes from the past. This one is from my mom, and my children always called her Nanny. So this is Nanny's spaghetti sauce, parentheses, gravy. Because I grew up in an Italian household with gravy being red sauce. So it doesn't make whatever difference you want to call it. It's gravy, it's red sauce. So we're going to make a big pot of it. My mom's recipe for making a big pot. Like once a month she would get all her ingredients together, which I have right here, and I'll tell you what they are. And she would whip up a big pot of spaghetti sauce, put it in jars and can it, or she would put it in the freezer. So we'd have spaghetti and meatballs every Sunday, which was like a ritual in our household. So I decided to make a big pot of it myself with her recipe and show you all how she used to make her spaghetti sauce. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is take a pound of sausage. Oh, it smells so good. You pound the sausage and you want to brown it in a big pot, okay? So I've already taken the sausage. I showed you what I get. Any kind of sausage. Whatever you like is what you get. So there you go. Okay, and then she would put it in oil, about maybe a half a cup of oil, maybe a little bit more than that, just depending how much sausage you can get. This is a recipe, oh gosh, I can't tell you how much sauce it makes, but you could always add more sausage if you would like. And same thing with the other ingredients I'm putting in right now. So the next thing on her list was to add some crushed tomatoes. So I always get some crushed tomatoes right here. Once that's, well, let's see, look, it's popping here. It's nice and brown now. So you leave everything in there, you leave the drippings in here, and then what's going to happen is all the drippings are going to get into the sauce. Oh my gosh, and it makes it so good. So what she does is she puts 2 crushed tomatoes. They're 28-ounce cans. These are 28-ounce cans, I think. Yes, they are. Yes. So that's nice and brown now. I'm going to add 2 28-ounce cans of crushed tomato. And you know, when you do this and you put it in, you want to make sure you get it all. So you have to kind of like scrape the bottom of the can and get all that good tomato out of there. Stick it in that pot. Okay, that's 1 can. 1 can down. You also have to wear something that, which I didn't put an apron on, but to wear an apron, and when you're doing this, you got to be really careful that you don't end up with spaghetti sauce on your outfit that you're wearing. So today's a cool day. This morning it was 48 degrees here in Charles, here in Elkview, West Virginia. Oh, did I splash it? No, I didn't. Here in Elkview, West Virginia. And I decided just to put a sweatshirt on because I'm always cold anyway. Okay, so I just added 2 cans, 28-ounce cans of crushed tomato. Okay, now I'm going to turn up my temperature a little bit because I've got 2 things that are in there besides the sausage that are going to start blending in. Once you do that, you add 1 can or 2, so I'm making a bigger batch, 2 cans of puree. Now your puree, you know, is just basically tomato that's pureed. Yeah, I mean, it's like real, you know, they put it in a blender and they get it like really saucy looking. Yeah. Okay, so this is a puree. So I'm putting 2 of these in. Now it's not sizzling anymore, so I need to turn it up a little bit higher. Okay, that's 1. And here's the other puree. So it's a pretty thick sauce that gets mixed in with the crushed tomatoes that are in here. Okay, get this taken care of here. You need a big pot when you're doing this. Yeah, if you're making a big batch like I'm making, you need a good sized pot. So this one is one of the bigger ones that I have, and it should be enough for everything. Okay, so I'm stirring that around a little bit. Okay, got that done. Next on my mom's list, she was no dummy. You know, she knew that putting these cans in, and at that time, when I was like, I don't know, 12, there was such a thing as Prego tomato sauce. They call it Prego Italian tomato sauce. So, if I can get it open, she would buy one of these big cans, again, a large size can of Prego, and try to open it first. Hold on. Come on. Bear with me. Bear with me. Ah, there we go. My trusty little opener will open anything. Okay, so she would always go ahead and just add more flavor to it. And Prego, to me, Prego is one of the best ones around. So that's what I end up adding to my sauce. Let me see if I can bring this over here so you can see what I'm putting in here. Okay. There. Okay. Hear it sizzling? It's popping right now. I can hear it. Okay. I'm going to put it a little bit lower now. And then I'm going to pour this big, giant container. This is one of the largest ones that they make, I believe. And it is 67 ounces. So you know that I'm going to have a lot of tomato sauce. So once I put this in, what I usually do is I add a little bit of water to this because the sauce is starting to get thick now. So I'll add about, I don't know, maybe a half a cup of water or such, and shake it up to get all those good seasonings in my sauce. Okay, that's done. All right, now I want to stir this up again, and you can see how much sauce I have in here. I mean, it is a lot of sauce. This is a big pot. So I'm going to stir this around, and again, you leave your sausage in here and let it just cook along with the sauce, with the tomato sauce. Now, besides putting this in, I'm going to get my little recipe book here. She would add some sugar, maybe a tablespoon of sugar. A tablespoon of sugar would be good. So you put a tablespoon of sugar in there, and yes, you got it. You got to put some wine in. So you put a cup of red wine. And while you're making this, you could also drink some wine. Why not, right? I mean, why not? Just put that red wine in there. Oh, yeah. Okay, we got that in there. Okay, let me show you. See? Mixing it in. And like I say, you need a big pot for this. Okay, so you put all this in together. I'll turn my temperature up again a little bit. Make it a little bit hotter. Okay, and then we'll most important part of this is your extra seasoning. So she would take a tablespoon and put a tablespoon of her own seasoning in, which I have my own seasoning in from my herbs that I put out on the porch this year. And I add a little bit, maybe another tablespoon of garlic powder to it. And this will give you that wonderful homemade flavor that you love when you make a sandwich with this sauce, or put it over some meatballs, or eat your sausage with it, or your pasta. Basically, stir this around really good to get all those ingredients mixed in with it. Turn that on. And you can see my sausage is popping up there. There's my sausage. It's coming together. I usually cut the sausage in pieces instead of putting them in here whole, because then they cook faster, and then the juices from the sausage can just permeate the whole pot. And it's starting to smell really good now. Okay, let me see if I have everything. My Italian seasoning, my wine, and my, oh yeah. So basically she would put all this together and then stir it for about 20 minutes or so, off and on. And then she would just make sure that it was cooking okay and not burning, and she would leave it in that pot and let it cook for a good 3 hours or so. And then she's got her pasta sauce or gravy, whatever you want to call it. You can add any other ingredients to it if you want, but it is just, the smell is incredible. It's going to just make the whole kitchen smell good today. And if you want to put more wine in, you could do that. Or you could put more wine in yourself and just drink a little bit. But it's early in the morning for me. Too early for wine. Anyway, so you notice what I'm doing. I'm stirring it around with my little spoon with a hole in it, so I can make sure I get all those ingredients that I put in, especially the seasonings, mixed well. So it'll cook up nicely. And again, like I said, if you want to, you could always add more sausage to this and let it permeate that sausage. And I'm going to run that, and it's going to put that on medium high. Watch it doesn't burn. And I'm listening. Can you hear it? It's starting to bubble a little bit. So you just have to pay attention that you don't burn it, because that would ruin the whole idea of making it, right? All right, so 3 hours. You cook it a little bit longer. Let me see what my mom did. She said, okay, 20 minutes first so it doesn't stick. Cook on low right now. Well, I put it on higher, but I put it on low. Okay. And you set it on the stove, let it cook for about 3 to 4 hours, because the longer you let it cook, the more those juices all flow into the whole pot. And you'll notice too that your height of your tomato sauce will get down a little bit lower too, as it's cooking. So that's it. It's a simple thing. I gave you the recipe. It's easy. It's Nanny's tomato sauce. You'll love it. Hope you enjoyed that today. Talk to you later. Have a good day.